You are all in for some magical mojo, my friends. Joining me today is video confidence coach Nika Stewart, who is a rock star. I have been following Nika, her vibration, her message, her loving spirit for almost 15 years. And I knew that when it came to video content, I needed to have her in this summit because what I've learned from her, just as part of her Facebook community, how she goes all out, watching her videos inspires me. And she is going to not only inspire you today, she's going to give you actionable strategies. Nika is here to talk about the art of on-camera persuasion, 5 secrets to winning over your audience. And Nika is, as you're about to discover, loves helping creative big thinkers show up and shine online as the unique, brilliant superstars that they are, so they can get the recognition they deserve, make a meaningful impact, and grow a profitable business without overwhelm, confusion, and isolation. Nika, welcome, my friend.
Oh, it's so your energy is so amazing, and I'm so excited to be here and to share with everyone.
And the reason I wanted you here, Nika, is I am one of those women that I go, video? What? What will I say? What will I do? People will judge. And you have taught me about authenticity, vulnerability, showing up as our divinely imperfect selves. Those are the core messages of my brand. But have you heard from other women too that I know I should do video, but... So let's talk about that for a moment.
Yeah, I hear it and I feel it because I, for years, desperately wanted to show up on video because I know how connecting it is, how you really can make a connection with your audience so much more than the text. You know, we everyone who started online years ago knows it started with text, and we did our best to illustrate what we wanted people to see and feel and hear. And then pictures came out, but now video is just the highest form of building a relationship with your audience. And yet we are all very cool, amazing people in real life. And the minute that light goes on, even if it's kind of over here and someone says, oh, just be natural, I'll just turn the video on, we suddenly become someone else. And I never liked how I looked on video, so I understand. Like, I wanted to watch my video and feel like, oh, I am so proud of this. And so, you know, a few things happened in my life that I feel grateful for, even though a lot of people would think that they are scary and negative, but they have taught me so much, and they have brought me to a place where I just love being just myself and imperfect and with flaws, and because that's what makes the connections. And so I want to share how you can get to that place of feeling really comfortable on camera, so that real awesome superstar inside of you just shows up and you are so proud of how you look on camera.
Yeah. And I think it is so important because I believe through video, they can feel our essence. And so I am great. I love going live with a guest. I love going live in groups and serving. It's when I sit down for that moment of looking at myself on the screen to record a message or go live. That's my freezing part. But you've inspired, and I've been doing it, but you've inspired me because within your group that I'm a part of, that you can talk about in a moment, watching you go live, watching you encourage women to just be your authentic self, right? Which is such an important part of my message, has really helped and supported me in breaking through those blocks. I'm not over all of them yet. Yeah.
Well, by the way, we're striving for perfection, and we're already perfectly imperfect. Like, we are already good enough. So yes, keep striving to be better and more inspiring and more motivating, but you're already the perfect that you're supposed to be.
Oh, what a beautiful message, my friend. So I have a question. So it's about the art of on-camera persuasion. So it's about energy then, right? So
yeah,
diving that,
totally.
sharing those secrets, because I think I can't wait to hear if it's tied to energy, how we show up, because you are so vivacious on all your videos and so fun and so quirky that I just enjoy them. And I'm like, oh, so talk to us.
Yeah, so a few things. First, the word persuasion I love because you're right, it is an energy. And when I say persuasion, it means anything. We all day, every day are trying to persuade people. Like we want to persuade our partner to do something or to agree with us, our children to behave the way we want them to behave. We want to persuade our audience to invest in our programs, to join our groups. So we're always persuading. And when I say persuade, I want to evoke the energy of persuade, to inspire and motivate people to do what for positive, to keep lifting people up. And yes, of course, if you are an entrepreneur, one of the things we need to persuade people to do is invest in what we offer. So there's a lot of meaning behind the word persuade. When we're talking about on camera, when we present something, there's this dynamic between the presenter and the audience. And it's so much more than just sharing information. It's about making that connection that we're talking about. And when you make a connection, you evoke trust. And when you have trust, you're easily able to persuade. And that trust and that connection really comes from confidence. So almost everything I talk about comes down to feeling confident and evoking confidence and having people see you and think that they see your confidence. And that's where it's kind of scary. And I do want to say thank you for saying that you feel joy or you're uplifted from my videos. I like to tell people, because I appreciate when I hear this, I did not feel that way. And I still often feel insecure, but I grew up, I was told, and it was part of my identity, that I was shy and quiet. And I thought that meant, oh, they can see that I'm uncomfortable and not good enough. So I never felt good on camera. And I was always pretending, and it looked like I was pretending. And I never felt that comfort for so many years. I'm saying that because if you actually do believe that I look comfortable and I do inspire, that means you can too. If you're not feeling it right now, you absolutely can get there if you choose.
That's a beautiful message, because I love what you said. You were playing a role at the beginning, as we all do when we try something new. And what I notice now in your evolution, in your videos, is your authentic self is shining through. You're like, I am done with the roles. And that had to feel so freeing. But also, I believe and found it in my own building of brands for 18 years. When they can feel our authentic truth, our essence, see our quirks and our idiosyncrasies, there's a deeper connection that happens. And as you said, video, I mean, come on, it touches all the senses.
Yes.
It's powerful.
Yeah, we just have to get that sense of smell. Somehow they have to invent that, where people can smell also through video, and then we have all the senses involved.
And then we'll have even more fun.
Yes.
So what platform? Let's touch on that briefly. So if someone is listening going, well, what platform? Where should I start? Do you have guidance on that, or is that really based on their business model?
I wish I could say the answer for everyone is TikTok or whatever. It does depend on what I have always said, because for many years I run a social media agency, and the biggest question I always heard over the years is, which platform should I focus on? And so in studying how to give that answer to everyone, the answer has become, the platform you should focus on is the intersection between where your audience mostly is hanging out and what you actually like, the culture of the platform. You enjoy it, you want to spend time on it. Because if most of your audience is spending time on Instagram, but you hate Instagram, you're not going to really succeed, because you just don't love it. So where your audience is and you love that platform, that's going to be the best platform to focus on.
great guidance, because I tell my clients, you don't have to be everywhere.
No,
I
absolutely
think
not.
it's better to choose one and go deep than choose many and go
Totally.
wide. And so thank you for those insights, because I agree. I'm not everywhere, but where I am, everyone knows that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because
And that's where you get your connection, because you can repurpose things and spread them all over 50 different platforms. But if you're not there having conversations, you're not connecting. So it's just, you're not, going deep and building relationships with people. That's where you want to hang out.
yeah, because I teach the feminine business model, which I've been doing for 18 years, and it's about authenticity, relationships, connection, collaboration. And that is why I love video, because we can have all that. So
Yeah.
let's dive in. I'd
Yeah.
hear your 5 secrets to winning over your audience.
Yeah. And I'm sure we're going to be talking about more than 5, but the point really is, I think you agree. You're watching this, you agree that it's about connection and building relationships and going deep with your audience. However, that's all like that. That's a nice philosophy. We agree with that. Sometimes we're just like, but so tell me how to do it. And so some of the things I want to share with you are kind of tricks, and they may feel a little weird the first time you try it. It might feel like a trick, and then you start becoming more comfortable with it. So I want to start with I guess I would call it a trick. It's a technique, something that I learned by accident several years ago. I was going live once in a while on Facebook to share things with my audience. Whenever I would have a thought of something I wanted to share with my clients or my community, I would push live to kind of to practice and to get more visibility with my clients and my audience. And I felt like I was getting better at it. But one day, right before I was going live, I remembered that I was making a video journal for myself. I kind of documenting something I was going through. So I would every once in a while, or actually for a while, it was every day, I would pick up my phone and record what was going on. Like, this is what happened. This is how I'm feeling about this situation. It was a video diary for myself, not for anyone else. It was just for me. I recorded for about a minute for myself. I put my phone away, I opened my computer, and I went live. After that live, several people that I knew, friends, people who knew me in person, said to me, something felt different about that live. Like, I've never seen you be more yourself. Like, you didn't look uncomfortable. You didn't look like you were playing a part. It actually felt like you. Did you do something different? And I realized what I did was this little thing that I now recommend to all my clients is to take 7 days, the next 7 days, and record a video diary for yourself. What that means is you pick up your phone and you, for about 60 seconds, you tell a story. You can decide for the next 7 days, I'm going to document what I ate for breakfast every morning. Or you can say, before you go to sleep, I'm going to talk about the things I was grateful. You have to remember, number one, this video is not for anyone else. In fact, you don't even have to watch it. You can record it and delete it. The point is, there is no expectation. There is no pressure to look or talk a certain way. It is just for you to record for 60 seconds. And I guarantee that after a week, and I often will keep doing this because I sometimes need to feel more like myself. But after 1 week of doing this, you are going to see a difference in yourself on camera. I suggest you try it.
I love that, because it's almost like you're breaking through that edginess of going live. So it's by creating a repetitive pattern. It's almost like you're telling your brain, you're okay. So it's good.
Mm-hmm.
So that you
Yeah.
drop into your heart and you're not up in your head. Because when I go into my head, like, don't forget to say this and say that, we come across as stilted. And
Yes.
so I love what you said at the beginning about being almost, I think you used the word like divinely imperfect. And just show up. The words will come.
Yes. Because isn't it weird? I always think this. If you and I were sitting at the table having lunch, there might be some silence, and we would not be nervous. We would just talk. Whatever came out would be very comfortable, and we'd have a conversation, and it would be perfect. we go on camera and suddenly it's like, you're right, it becomes stilted. We become nervous, which is why having those 1 minute a day to have no expectation and no pressure releases some of that from your body and from your mind. And then just like something you just said reminded me, the camera goes on and we become stilted and we're not in our body. So one other amazing technique that I have learned, which is a mindset shift really, is we get ready. We get ready. Okay, I'm going to think, I'm going to practice my line in my head. What am I going to say? And then we push the record button and we say the line. So it's typically like this, like, I'm going to tell you 3 ways to eliminate stress in the morning. So that's what we typically do. We think about it, we push record, and we say our first line. One thing we can do, the mindset shift is, if you are recording something, you can edit it. Like we know that, but we typically the light goes on and we have to talk. If you, instead of pushing record and saying your line, you push record and then get ready. So it's more like this. What if I shared with you 3 ways to eliminate stress in the morning? So did you see the difference there?
Feel the energetic difference. You are talking to me, not at me. Like,
yes.
ladies,
oh, that's so good.
Ladies, I'm sure you felt that too. Did you feel it? And that's why I want Nika here. It's little nuances like that. Like, what a powerful mindset trick, because we do that.
We push and then we talk at you. It's so good. I love those words, and I'm going to steal them from you. Really, we when we push record and we're a little nervous, we're saying the words, we're talking at, it's not even like it's ambiguous instead of speaking with someone, which brings up another really cool trick, is to, when you're going on video, one thing that I have learned over the years is to speak to one person rather than a group. So the language of, rather than, hey, all of you, you guys, it doesn't feel like I'm talking to you. So if instead you speak the language of a single person, that's often more connecting. However, I like to go a step further, and like right now, you and I are talking, I can see your face. And for those of you listening, I can't see your face, but I'm thinking about you and actually talking to you. What I mean is, I am thinking of one person in my head, that person, and it's you. It's that person who I know typically nods their head and they agree with what I'm saying, or they're very supportive. There's great feedback. I'm thinking of you right now. So think of that one person. It might be your mom. It might be your best friend. It might be your favorite client, but decide, and it could be different every time you're doing a video, depending on what you're saying. But I'm talking to you, which makes it so much more, rather than talking at a screen, I'm actually speaking with you because I'm thinking of you. So think of that one person before you go on video, and then see them.
Envision them. I love that tip. And so you made me laugh, because something I did way back, like 10, 12 years ago, when video was first used. And I remember going, oh my God, I freeze when the damn little camera thing comes on. And as I'm looking up into the camera now, so the first time I drew a curly haired face and
That's
cut
so
up
cute.
circle around the video, and I put it there so I thought I was looking at someone. Then another time I took a little picture of my granddaughter and put it at the camera. So I felt like I was looking in the eyes of a human, not this contraption that was staring at me. And I tell my clients, if you're freezing, do that, because there's something about seeing another human when you're recording by yourself that just brings you back down into your body. I don't have to do it anymore, but I still guide my clients, put something there. Make sure it's at the same level as the camera, so you're looking straight in.
Yeah.
But what a great tip about speaking to individuals instead of groups. It's more intimate. It's more like, oh my God, Nika, that message was for me.
Yeah, right, because I'm talking to you, not, hey, I wonder if anyone here feels this way. There's no connection. Again, we keep talking about connection. And connection happens when we feel comfortable, and we feel more comfortable when we realize we are actually speaking with that special person and we are connecting with them. And you honestly need to, and like you said, in the beginning, you may need to put a picture there or even like a text reminder to say, oh, you're looking at so-and-so. And after a while, it just becomes second nature. And I can see you nodding your head. Like, even though you're watching a recording of this, I see it, I feel it, I know it's happening. And that helps me be more comfortable continuing to talk with you.
Yeah, and I love that. That's a great tip, because I think personal connection is the key for video. It gives us such a way to authentically connect when we're saying you instead of
Yes.
all or they or speaking in generalities.
Yeah. And it's a simple thing to switch the language.
And so what is another one of your secret techniques and tips? Because I love these. These are going to help so many women just
I
break
hope
through and get
so.
more comfortable, especially entrepreneurs. This is a powerful connection tool to build the know, like, trust factor. It's how I've grown my business. By showing up authentically, they can feel me. And as Nika has discovered.
Yeah. And so the tool, you just made me think of something. So here's actually, this is perfect, because this is I'm going to share a tip that just happened for me, which is, you said something and I thought of it, and then it went out of my head. And typically I would feel in the past, be like, all right, and pretend I didn't make a mistake, or I meant to go on to something else. You appear more confident, which makes people so much more comfortable with you if you expand into your mistakes. You embrace them, because no one connects with perfect. So if you are pretending to be perfect, number one, you might appear unreachable and not relatable, or you appear like you're pretending to be perfect, and that's icky. So just like, I can't remember the word. So for me, because I'm still, I don't know how many years you can talk about recovering from chemotherapy, but I had chemotherapy a few years ago, and words don't come back to me now. So I'm just going to be like, that's who I am. I forgot the word. I can't even think of the word. And sometimes it invites people to to support me. And if not, at least now they know the real me. I am so imperfect. And that's one of my imperfections. I forget things. So my point is, when you make a mistake, not if you make a mistake, because we're human, on video, embrace it. Don't try to hide it. It's the difference between shrinking and expanding. So we typically, we made a mistake, and our whole body, even if you don't do this physically, your energy goes like this. If instead, this is me, I made a mistake. I have a coach who calls those authenticity indicators. And when we are authentic, that's when we connect. If you have no indication that you are being authentic and vulnerable and real and human, people can't connect. So embrace those awesome mistakes that happen, and flaws and challenges during your video recording.
That is so important, because I know so many women, and I've done it myself years ago. They will keep re-recording because of one little word, like they said, but or and I'm like, what are you doing? They are going to say, oh, it's not so edited that it's like you said, so perfect. I cry on my videos. I mix up my words, so I can so relate to you. I mix up my words or skip them, and I'm like, oh, ladies, or whoever I'm speaking to. I'm sure you've had those moments too, where you forget what you were about to say, and it makes me relatable. But I'm not going to keep re-recording to cut out every little nuance that makes me who I am.
Right. And I so agree with that, because it does make you more human and more relatable when you're not perfect, when you have those mistakes. I just want to go back to when I said cut out the beginning, that's not about cutting out mistakes and editing the flaws. It's about giving yourself the time to get centered and come into who you are. Then you can eliminate, people don't have to watch that part. because people will just scroll by if there's silence and you just thinking. But everything else, be you, just be you.
And I think that is one of the most powerful gifts that I want today's session to be about, is embrace your imperfections, show up authentically, because those that you're meant to serve, that's what they're looking for. They can relate to that because guess what? They're divinely imperfect too.
Yes.
And I think that's how I know it's how I've built my brands, by how I write, how I show up, how I communicate. It's just me.
Yeah, that's why your audience loves you, because, and by the way, this is hard to kind of really deal with, but the truth is not everyone is going to love our real authentic selves. There are people who aren't going to feel connected. And that's awesome, because if you aren't you, your real people can't connect with you. So no one connects with you. When you are actually your weird, quirky, silly, whatever the authentically you is, when you are that, some people will go, that's not for me. And sometimes that feels, like painful. But the people who are our people become our people instead of not knowing who we are, so they can't connect. So it's difficult to know that people are not going to like us, but it's also pretty awesome because then we really have lots of love.
Yes, and that's such a powerful message that I want to add on, because I work with clients on visibility. They're all spiritual personal development coaches, authors, therapists. And one of the things I tell them is, if you do not show up authentically because of fear of judgment from those who truly don't matter, then what's happening is your sacred offerings, your uniqueness, your brilliance is not going to change the lives of those who are waiting for you. So forget about the ones who aren't for you, because they're for somebody else, and focus on being you so you can energetically call in those who are waiting for you. I believe that with my whole heart. It's like we have to align our energy so those that we are meant to connect and serve can feel us. And video is a beautiful way of doing it.
So yeah, so good. And then I think it's nice to have support, because again, as humans, it still hurts when someone is nasty. If they say something, oh, I don't like that, or you're too silly, or you forgot words, so you're not smart. Whatever the trolls may say, it's nice to have so many people who love you and they jump in to kind of fight the troll for you, or at least you have a support system, because it's tough getting visible, and it's nice to have people who get you and help you along the way.
Oh, I think that's powerful too. That's why I always try to support people when I see them being visible in whatever way. Just give them a love note, because I know how much internal work and mindset stuff it takes for them to be visible.
Yeah.
So I always try to support and
that's so nice.
Through it.
That's lovely.
And you have another strategy you want to share?
Yeah. So I'm thinking of one that I still have to remind myself of, because when I get nervous or my energy is high, it's like the adrenaline goes up when we're about to go on video. When my adrenaline is high or I'm feeling nervous, I tend to speak fast and not stop, because it goes back to feeling not good enough. If I pause and there's silence in my head, people are going to go away. It's like I'm going to stop and they don't respect me enough to stay for the next word. I think that's what's going on in my head. So I used to always, and still have to remind myself not to keep filling up every single space, so that so that words just keep coming out, because I'm afraid to even take a breath, because if I take a breath, then people may run away. So I need to remind myself that pausing actually feels more comfortable for your audience. You look more confident when you take the time to pause. It's much more comfortable looking, and again, you feel more confident, which creates that connection.
And it also gives them, I think, that pause, because I watch a lot of your videos, also gives them a place to integrate what you're saying, right? Because we're all energetic beings, and when it's coming out, anything comes at us fast and furious, it's almost like And when you pause, like I could feel your energy as you were just doing that example. It's like, oh, I was coming back into my body. Now I'm listening again, then I'm coming back into my body. So on the receiving end, I can feel the difference too. So that's a great insight. And
Yeah.
you have been doing this for a long time. I want to say just one of your videos, I want to give a recap and then we're going to share your free gift, but I wanted to share just one of your videos. And I know a lot has changed since then. I have notes here because I was like, what? Had over 100 million views. I remember this video. And you gained from that video hundreds of thousands, not hundreds, hundreds of thousands of new followers and of course, new business. So that's why I wanted Nika here. This is someone who has taken authenticity, showing up and shining to a new level using video. And those results have been magnified since then. That was on video. That was at the beginning, if I remember, with your breast cancer journey. And there you were in all your vulnerability and truth. And then I continued to watch them. But look what happened. People like, she is sharing her truth in only a way that Nika can, because that's when I really first started. I had always been following you, but really started connecting with you, your energy, the messaging, how you were showing up on video. And that's what made me want to join your Facebook group and stay connected and have you here today. So I wanted to speak about some of those results that you've got, because that's the power of video, isn't it?
Yeah. And look how this is really the proof that for so many years I call it buttoned up. I would prepare the camera. I would make sure that the space looked good. If the sunlight wasn't good, I would have to get the right lighting. And typically I wouldn't record that many videos because I was waiting for the perfect moment and the perfect look and my hair and my makeup and the clothing. And I'd record and edit and record and edit and over. And it looked, like I felt I was giving good information. I had good information, but I wasn't really connecting. And then when my body changed, I lost parts of my body. I lost my hair. I lost my eyebrows and my eyelashes, and I looked weird, certainly not perfect. And I started going on camera and teaching things in the same stuff I was teaching, and not, I cannot wait for perfection because I'd have to wait a year or two until things came back and my energy came back. So I didn't have a choice. I had to go on video. If I wanted to go on video, it had to be imperfect. It had to be weird. It had to be vulnerable. That's when I started making connections with people. So when I was less worried about being perfect, that's when people started saying, I want to learn from you. So just be real, be vulnerable, be authentic. So yeah. And so sharing those, so I'd share my business thoughts, but I also shared funny moments because I turned what I was going through into, I thought it was funny that I forgot I didn't have hair, and I kept, like I reached for a brush and then went, wait, I don't, like things like that, which I put out on video and thought were not relatable. Because how many people in the world are dealing with, they just lost their hair? It's a very small amount of people. So I just put it out there thinking it would be cute, and up to like 160 million views on one of those videos. And the comments are, this is so relatable.
Yeah. Not
because people lost their hair, but because of the idea of how I dealt with it. Like the instinctual memory that, or you're doing things by rote memory when, like people are saying, I reach for my glasses, but they're already on my face, or things that like are just like instincts. And so what you're going through, if you want to share it, it may not be the story of what you're going through, but how you deal with it, or the aha moments, or the funny around it, that it can be what's relatable and connects with people.
Yeah, because I think content that inspires people to embrace their own imperfections and is done with love, kindness, inspiration, humor are powerful. And yes, as entrepreneurs, we are sharing different aspects of ourselves. Of course, we're going to be on video to share insights about how we can support them in business through our unique gifts. But we're also a woman. We're also a human that is navigating life. We can share some of those too and tie them together.
Yeah, and your life, letting your life and personality comes through is necessary in business. Side note.
Oh, I think so. I tell my clients, even in their writing, video, everything, it has to be your authentic voice. There is no cookie cutter in the feminine model because it's the essence of who you are needs to come through. It's a whole new world.
I
I've
love
been
it.
using the principle since 2009, and I walk around feeling aligned with who I am in business, with who I am inside, and that's what I want for all my clients. And speaking of videos, you have an amazing complimentary gift for our viewers. And I was so excited to see it because it's 100 viral video prompts. So really quickly, tell them what they can expect from that and why they want it.
Why you want this. So as you're getting more comfortable with going on camera, one of the challenges still is, even for me, I want to make a video, but what do I say? Or I have this idea of what to say, but how should it start? The beginning of your video in today's society is the absolute most important part, because we're scrolling like this on our phone. This is how quickly we scroll, if not faster. Well, you have this long to stop the scroll, to catch someone's attention. You have a split second to catch people's attention. So you can have the best video in the world, but if you don't stop someone to watch it, it doesn't matter how good your video is. So I put together 100 video beginnings for you. So these are the sentences that you can say as you begin your video to stop the scroll and get people to watch more of your video. And there's, fill in the blanks. It's not the same. It depends on your brand and your industry. So, but the prompt is there, you fill in the blank, and you have 100 prompts. It doesn't mean 100 videos, because you could fill in the blanks differently. You could have hundreds and hundreds of videos from these prompts. So grab those and you will never again have the excuse like, what do I say? How do I start my video? You have no excuse anymore.
No excuse. Now, here's the funny part is I was so thrilled to see that, because the number one thing I hear from my clients is, oh my God, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to talk about. So having some prompts that they can customize to get them comfortable takes away that excuse. So I am so grateful that you circled up with us for the Amplify Summit. I know that every woman here in attendance is going to be hitting that button on their camera with a little more confidence. And Nika, thank you, my friend. And I'll be downloading those video prompts myself.
Excellent. And by the way, you feel free to tag me in your video so I can come support you and give it some more love, because that's always good for your videos to get more views.
Ooh, thank you, my friends. Thank you.